everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's Felicity here, and today I'm going to do a tarot deck review for you. And the deck I'm going to review is Tarot of the Imagination by Lord Scalabel. And I understand that this is the out of print deck. I'm still doing this review, not because I'm trying to show off, but because this is a really unique deck that really makes you think, and I try to encourage those who have this deck really pull out this from your tarot deck shelf and start studying it, start working with it, because this is a very unique deck. And after flipping through all the cards, and I understand why it is called Tarot of the Imagination, because this title of the deck is inspired by the title of the song Imagine by John Lennon. And so when you understand this song and you know the subject matters within this deck, and this deck really carry the energy of Aquarius, and the energy of Neptune, and also the energy of Uranus. Yes, it has this planet energy, strong energy coming out to you when you are working with this deck. Also, if you work in the art industry, movie industry, entertainment industry, the industry that require you to have creativity, and if you have a certain blockage, use this deck. Really take a look at all the pictures of this deck and try to do a tarot spread of this deck, and it will inspire you. It will clear out your writer's block and any kind of blockage that blocking you towards your creativity. The deck is that because a lot of images, a lot of things inside this deck, inside the image of this deck, reminds you about certain fragments of a movie, certain clips from the movie, from really famous photo, or from the writers as well. There are times that I'm reminded about the quotes, about a piece of artwork from a writer, a piece of artwork from a certain artist. So when you have writer's block, and you have blockage blocking you towards your creativity, use this deck. And the thing is that you don't even need an idea to start with, because this deck, the energy of this deck really help you to tap into ideas. They will give you, this deck really gives you some ideas, because this deck transcends space and time, and help you to tap into the artists throughout all the years, like maybe it's early 20th century artist, maybe it's 19th century artist. A lot of artists voices can be found in this deck, and the energy is very powerful. You can get in touch with the energy of maybe Oscar Wilde, maybe Ernest Hemingway, maybe D.H. Lawrence. A lot of things that come up to you. The energy God channel is very powerful, because all those artists lived before you, and then their voices are very strong, and their voices still resonating, echoing in throughout all the space and time. So when I use this deck, there's no space and time, because the artist's perceptions, artist's opinions, or the writings, the voices, the artist's voices, writer's voices still echoes throughout all the space and time. So it helps you transcend space and time. And it's the deck that, yes, carry a certain darkness in it, because there are some kind of murderous scene, thriller movie scene, maybe poster of a thriller movie. Some character got their head chopped off. Yes, it is a dark deck. It carries dark subjects, but then the subjects really help you to understand humanity, to understand the Aquarius quality, humanity, understand Neptune, the artistic side of Neptune, the movie, and also Uranus is sudden changes. Uranus is some kind of very eccentric energy. So this deck is dark, is eccentric in a very unique way. It's help you express your artistic Neptune quality. So yes, it's also about the war as well, a little bit about the war and how as human beings we should really take a look at the war. And it's also about politics, the power struggle between humans and the ambitions to gain power, and how this kind of human mind really destroy humanity in a certain way and bring destruction to this world. And whenever I use this deck, I can no longer focus on my personal issues. This deck really pulls me out of my personal issue and take a deep look at the world issue. It contains about politics, it contains about humanity, the human quality, the human instincts, and how we should really tune ourselves into the wholeness of the world instead of just waste our instinct on power struggle, ambitions, and all things like that. And yes, and also it has a really strong visual effect. Whenever I use this deck or I place 3 cards next to each other, this visual effect really put an impact on my psychology, emotions. So it kind of create give the reader some kind of psychological impact as well as emotional impact because of the visual effects that is created by the cards. It's all the colors, all the message, emotions, psychological things got expand. It almost feel like you are in a thriller. Someone get murdered and they are lying in a blood pool, and the blood pool start really extend itself and expand itself. The blood pool trying to expand itself, and then you see the blood pool expanding, and then it sooner or later you will get touched by this blood pool. And also it kind of really help you to think about the humans, all the creative force, all the creative people who sacrifice themselves in the name of creativity or in the name of humanity. So they are within this blood pool, and your emotion, your psychology got touched, got soak into this blood pool, and you got rubbed. The blood pool rub itself onto your skin, onto your physical side, and onto every little bit of your being. That's really powerful. So not many that can do that. It feels like whenever I look at the image, it feels like I'm standing inside of a gallery looking at the paintings. You know, the message, the visual effect, right, throw the color in front of you, and you no longer run away, because it really asks you to look at humanity in a very deep way. And yes, and now I'm going to pick some cards and explain to you how it inspires me in a certain way. The first card that I would like to show you from Tarot of the Imagination is this card, the Fool card. And whenever I look at this card, it suddenly reminds me of a tune that is sung by children or teenagers when they would like to mock someone or make fun of someone. And the tune goes like this, na 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 na. And yes, the children or teenagers just plug in some words into this tune to make fun of their friends. So this card really evoke that kind of memories or emotions and the fun of the childhood or teenage years. And the next card is a more deep and serious card. This is the death card, and you can see that death, or the embodiment of a death, turn its back on a human skeleton, and it almost feels like death is not interested in the skeletons. Maybe death sees all the humans as just like a bunch of skeletons. You are the bunch of skeletons to me, humans. And yeah, so it really makes me feel things about death and the meaning of death, the meaning of being human. Maybe we are all dead right from the beginning. Right after we begin our life here on earth, we are dead already. Our body is it's the dead things. It's our soul that makes our body work and functions and things like that. And it feels like it's a miracle because the body functions. It contains a lot of chemical thing, a lot of mechanical things working inside our body in order to function. But probably because our soul's energy is very strong, and it makes everything go smoothly with the grace of the universe. Yeah, so it makes me feel like death is not very interested in our body, or death is not very interested in taking our own lives. Death sees us as the bunch of skeletons. Death just interested in taking away our possessions. Here the treasure box here. Death is interested in taking away our possessions. Maybe the things that we like, maybe the people that we like. So we lose our possessions, we lose people that we think we have in our lives. And also death takes away our human body. The body takes away. Death tells us that we are a bunch of dead people. We are dead from the very beginning. Why? Because without our soul, it's just a bunch of dead people walking around the world. It's just a bunch of human suits. Without the soul, it's just a bunch of skeletons. So death is not interested in taking our own lives because the soul is eternal. It cannot be taken away. It's the possessions, things or people that we think we have, death will take away. So it's really make me think about death in a completely different way. So this is very powerful image. Death turned its back away from the human skeletons and facing the treasure box, facing what we think we have, what we think we treasure. So it makes us think about, in the end of life, everyone is walking towards death. We are in the progress. Maybe in a process. We are in a process of death. So just let go and live. And this is the message from the death. Okay, and then next it's the image, a thriller. It almost like a Hitchcock thriller. Someone got murdered. Yes, it probably is a advertisement of maybe an advertising poster from a thriller movie, something like that. Very, very familiar. It's very familiar to me. And next, a little bit of a political issue. Maybe This gesture is the gesture of some secret society. This is the devil card. Probably what is so devil is about the missile on the weapons that is created by people to destroy humans, to destroy the world. So maybe the gestures carries a certain meaning to a certain society, certain people, yes. But what is more important is the weapons that we create to destroy our own world. And next, it's this card. This is at first glance maybe it's not very special, but then you look at here, at the corner here, it's a matador, it's a torero, bullfighter in Spain, or in some part of country, maybe South America, maybe Mexico, maybe south of France. So this really important. It reminds, it's when you look at this, actually is a writer, Ernest Hemingway, who was very interested in bullfights, boxing, hunting, and going to the war, driving ambulance in the war zone. So this is Ernest Hemingway in his later days, and so it depicts Hemingway sitting in the bull ring, looking as an observer, looking at the bullfights, and they kind of make fun of Hemingway because they put them in a pink checked shirts, and Hemingway is the embodiment of masculinity. And if you dial up, call up heaven to talk to Mr. Hemingway, and he might be rolling in his grave and saying that why the modern day human put me in a pink checked shirts, and it's not masculine at all. But then you may ask Mr. Hemingway, but why in a bull ring bullfighters wear all the colorful, shocking pink and colorful, very bright color in the bull ring? And it's kind of create a contrast, right, Mr. Hemingway? So why it's problematic to put a pink check shirt onto you? So yes, so now it's kind of it's a contrast. It's not about feminine or masculine. Pink color, the color pink may not need to label as a feminine color. It's a soft color, yes, but if it takes a very masculine man in order to carry this pink color, it plays with the contrast between maybe the soft side of the man, and then the outer part is a strong masculine man matched with the soft color pink. So it's a balance between the masculine energy and the feminine energy as well. And we should not have a bias towards certain colors. So this is the card that make me think this way. And yes, it takes a certain masculine man in order to carry certain color, or maybe better yet, not to label any kind of color as feminine or as masculine. You can wear anything that you like. And then also it brings out a controversial topic. The bullfight is very cruel to animals, and in the end of the game, the bull will die in a very slow and tortured way. So is it humane to continue this sport? But then look at this. There's a war going on in our world, and is it humane when our own species killing our own species? Human killing human. And here another card showing almost like the human war, and then the soldier Is the soldier going to save them, or it's going to go against them, or just shoot them? It leaves you to your imagination. But the message is that there's a war going on. How can we focus on on the animal rights, stop bullfighting? How can we focus on that when our own species kill our own species? All right. And also, this card really makes me think about, responsibility. One person responsible for the lives of two. And when do men get to understand, experience this? Maybe in the war zone, maybe when men are driving car, in a vehicle, driving a vehicle, maybe when man is a driver of a vehicle, then they got to understand they are not only responsible for themselves, they are also responsible for the passengers on inside the vehicle. And this one also, it's a comradeship, it's a brotherhood, it's the bonding, it almost feels like, Hemingway, the writer who writes some kind of war stories, almost cheering in the background. Yes, you can do it. You can get yourself and your friend, your comrade, out of the war zone safely. And also, it also like yes, men experience this kind of experience this way. Being responsible for the lives of two. But women also have this experience. When you ask a pregnant woman, they will tell you how is it feel like to be responsible for the lives of two. You ask any kind of pregnant woman or woman who have been given birth before, they will tell you the feeling. How is it feel like to be responsible for the lives of two? Very powerful image. And then next one, if you are very, I'm going to show the chop off head. If you are sensitive, please stay away or pardon me. This reminds me of Oscar Wilde's play Salome, and it talks about a princess who were in love with a man who is just like a hermit. And the princess got rejected, so the princess order someone to chop off the head of this human, of this love interest. Very, very powerful. And it's also about obsession, how obsession destroy not just yourself, it also destroy the things, the people that you love. So stay away from obsession. You cannot possess anyone. You can only control yourself. So it's about obsession, passion, and then the killing. And then there's some kind of cards that reminds you of some kind of certain era. This is almost like a 20s, the jazz age, that kind of the Great Depression in America. Yes, the jazz age, that kind of thing. Also, this is also come out of a photo or maybe a painting. In the early 20th century, a lot of writers, American writers or English writers, go to vacation in France. So they have some bathing in France, they have party in France, and it creates some kind of culture. The circle of literary men, circle of literary circle in France. This one is also reminds me of the train station in France, because of the chic clothing that is worn by this character. Arrival or departure, it's up to you. Maybe she's here to see the friend, or to welcome someone home, or the departure. Well, it's up to you to to say, because this is a Three of Cups. And yes, for the religion part, you can see this, looking at what kind of religion is that. Maybe Jewish, maybe religion, Jerusalem, maybe Christian. I'm not so sure. It feels like some kind of religion, maybe Islamic religion. This man is looking strictly into the old scripture or things. Another, the you can see different part of maybe a temple, right? So different part of temple here. And respect, it's about respecting other people's culture, other people's religion. When the religion is not allowed the nudity, then respect them. That's all. There's no need to argue about what religion is right or what religion is wrong. As long as you have peace inside yourself. Yes, this is a Western kind of religion. Yeah. No, this is the Eastern kind of religion. Eastern is about Eastern. And some kind of the court card familiar faces, but I'm not so sure about the name of these familiar faces. But I'm sure that I have seen it somewhere, maybe in a museum, maybe it's important royal family. But because I haven't studied the history, but then for sure this one is very famous. I certainly know this is Henry VIII, because a lot of TV programs, the TV series make this king famous, Henry VIII. And then there's some very nice card as well. This is the Strength card. Certainly this person, this woman used all her strength. You can see the thighs and the feet here to support the body, to maybe opening the mouth of a lion or closing the mouth of lion. It's up to you. But it's a very nice painting. It's a very nice image. And then we have the High Priestess here, naked, showing the breasts. Maybe you can see that holding a book, and there's a nakedness, maybe a naked woman, maybe a naked man. Who says that High Priestess, who says that in order to understand religion, you have to be very cover yourself up. Sometimes to understand human nature, to understand your own psyche, your own intuition, sometimes you need to understand and accept your animal side of yourself, because sometimes the drive of the animal side of yourself really mess up with your psyche, or really some can create murder as well, because the animal instinct is a strong, very raw, powerful energy. You have to accept it and understand it, and not be afraid about the nakedness of a woman. Is it destroying religion, or is it destroying your certain beliefs, or is it bringing moral down? Sometimes it really depends on your own conviction. It depends on your own moral standard. It's not because of you do this, you show your nakedness, then you are bad, or you are immoral. Sometimes when you understand your own nature, understand your animal side of yourself, and it helps you to get in touch with your own soul, to get in touch with your own universe, or the soul level. right? Because you understand, you accept the animal side, and when the animal side comes up, you will know, okay, this is animal instinct, this is the human soul instinct, this is human soul intuition. Then which side should I go, and how do I blend in the two energy to create balance, something like that. So it's not about what you do, it's about how well you understand your soul and blend in the animal side of yourself in order to achieve this high priestess or high priest energy. And then there's the murder, the violence here, the colors here is like bam in your face, create contrast, and the control, the abuse, the violence, and the murder. The two cards here talks about murder, the story of murder. Maybe it's from a Shakespeare's play. I'm not so sure. It certainly is very familiar. This one is the Pope, and then the authority. Maybe this one is the lover of the woman. It's this one captured the moment of the murder. It feels like this man have the knife at the back and then just stab into the heart of this woman. And then here it's kneeling down to tell this authority figure that it's all done, because you will see this is the woman's head here, the face, and the hand is doesn't belong to the man, it belongs to the woman. And the blood, the knife is full of blood. So it's about murder, the story of murder because of power, because of the yearning, the ambitions to gain power. Then we have this Chariot. It reminds me of here is the video game Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed is a video game. Yes, this kind of costume, clothing reminds me of that video game, Assassin's Creed. So this deck is powerful because it's evoke many memories, many things within yourself. It's very, very powerful. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.